What's up, you guys? I'm here with the coolest mother-son combo, I think, in the world. I think we can confirm that today after this interview. Rosemary Hochschild, Orson Oblowitz, and we are talking about their brand new film, The Queen of Hollywood Boulevard, so stay tuned.
You're tuned in to AfterBuzz TV, the ESPN of TV talk. Now, let the buzz begin.
Love the song choice. I want to hear the full thing. We'll get into it. You guys, thank you so much for joining me. The movie is so cool. I want to get right into it. Can you tell me about the roles you played in this film?
Well, I was the director and writer of the movie, and I also play her son in the film. So, you know, there's a nice little reality and fiction cross, pretty strong. And yeah, and then who are you in the movie?
Yeah, I play the Queen of Hollywood Boulevard.
Absolutely. You guys, you have to see this film, if for anything, to see the Queen of Hollywood Boulevard's outfit and just slayage. Can you tell me about like your role, your character? Because I think she's a really interesting character.
Oh, she's a fantastic character. I worked on the character with Orson for about 3 months before the movie, and we like really stylized her. Like we brought her, because I'm a really fast speaker, and we brought her speech down. We also gave her a specific walk. She used a cane, and it was almost as though Orson once described it to me as like, you know, the snake of the cane in the harshest conditions of a desert. And that's what I was revering.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a very artistic style about it. Even from the first shots, you're completely into it, and it's a different filming style. Can you tell me about the filming style and kind of the story that you're portraying with it?
Yeah, well, I love films from the 1970s, so I wanted to kind of update that into modern, you know, a modern crime movie. And I love Hollywood. I lived there. I've lived there for a decade, and Los Angeles. And I wanted to tell a story about people on the fringes of Los Angeles, but kind of with this whole like 70s vibe, you know, using like the streets as our whole set, you know. So we kind of made LA our set, how they used to do there, and we just went out. The old Cadillac, you know, all these elements. Her outfit with the, you know, cheetah coat. And obviously a lot of it takes place in like a neon strip club. So just these places that are on the fringes of Hollywood, and kind of examining how people live in that world, and then just bringing that like 70s rawness to it.
It felt really true to form, exactly what you're saying. Like everything, all the details, the cheetah coat, the cane, the lighting just fit exactly with the story. What do you want people to enjoy about the film most or get from this film? Either of you.
I think what I want them to get personally is like, I want them to go on a ride with a character that you don't usually see, which is like a very strong, you know, strong, cunning woman in a role that usually is reserved for older men. So I kind of want people to go on that journey with a woman and see how their lives are, and you get to see her at her darkest and her at her happiest, and go on that whole journey and that roller coaster.
And you also said that you'd really want people to have conversations about the movie afterwards.
Yeah, I mean, it's all about like people afterwards being like, what was that about? And what are we talking about? There's a lot of references to older films in there, and ideas, and, you know, commentaries on kind of the current American political climate. And, you know, to me, it's about this woman that runs this gauntlet through all these toxic men along the way. And that was a big part of it. And that's also, you know, why the bad guy in the film, played by Roger Guinevere Smith, has a picture of Ronald Reagan above his head. So,
oh, yeah. And Rosemary, you seem like a strong bad mamma jamma in real life. What parts of your character did you connect with most? It seems like there's some similarities in the way your strength.
You know, a lot of my character came out of my mother. You know, I used a lot of her. She was like a very abusive, extremely powerful woman who didn't have a conscience, and like ruled with an iron fist. You know, and I took a lot of that from her.
Yeah. There was definitely this strength in exactly what you were talking about, but also I thought there was some tones of a deeper side to her that you saw. There was a lot of dimension, I feel like, with that character.
Yeah, well, I mean, to her, when her son is taken from her, it's just a matter of getting her son back. And I think that deep connection I felt like as a mother towards Otto, the character, came from within me. I think everything as an actor comes from within me, is an extension of who I am. Even if I'm using my mother, it's an extension of who I am.
Interesting. And you've acted a lot. You have a pretty great career. Is that how you pull for your other characters?
Always. Yeah, it always comes out of me.
I always love to get into the actor's mind because it's such an artistic journey. Same with the directors. When you're making this story in particular, I know you were pulling from just being in Hollywood. Are all of the films that you've worked on or created like similar to this? I know this was your feature.
This is my first film, yeah. And then I did another one after it, which is like, I mean, it's a totally different, I mean, there's similarities stylistically, but it's called Hell is Where the Home Is. It's a home invasion horror thriller, and it's, you know, a totally different kind of examination of people. But I think I get very attached when I'm making a film to the characters and wanting to show them off in a different way than usual. Kind of showing, I'm excited by the bad side of people. I enjoy the darker side of a human and examining that. And I think in everything I do, I lean into that. So it's like, I love Hollywood, I love LA, but in general, it's about examining more of the, you know, the other side of us. We all want to be happy. We want to be satisfied. We all want these things. But in the end, life is tough and we all deal with it in our own ways. So I like examining people who are, you know, emotionally on the fringe.
That's interesting because I think oftentimes in films, like a character to just pick one, like Darth Vader is so interesting to me because he's more than just like this perfectly good guy. There's depth to him and the darkness creates depth. What kind of films and projects and characters do you want to create and portray in the future?
For me, I mean, I like those conflicted characters, you know. I'm always trying, like, everything I write and everything I work on is I always go back to, like, my favorite film is Taxi Driver.
Oh, great film. Great film.
And so there's a lot of taxi, like, there's even Anna Mulvoy-Tan who plays Grace in this film, like, she's clearly styled after Jodie Foster.
Yes,
like,
now that you say that, wow.
Yeah, and like the only scene you don't see Rosemary in at the beginning of, from her point of view, is when Grace comes in and she's talking to John Sklarov, who plays Percy, the kind of pimp guy, and that's taken from Harvey Keitel and Jodie Foster in Taxi Driver. So I love characters like that who are just always kind of on the edge, always, you know, they think what they're doing is right, and they're very, you know, steadfast in that, but they have a different idea of what right and wrong is, you know? So my best friend and business partner calls it, he says, we like to make these things called psychodramas.
Rosemary, is that what you want to, do you like that genre as well, or is this kind of a singular character?
It's funny, like, I love the darkness genre, for sure, if we could make it one. But, yeah, I mean, I'm an edgy actress, right? So I seem to fall into edgy roles, right? And, yeah, I really love films with an edge, you know. When we made this film, Orson gave me a slew of movies to watch, from Killing of a Chinese Bookie to Farewell to Arms, you know, and
your son gave you homework.
I gave her homework.
We had a lot of homework.
And there was a lot of homework on this film.
Edginess and a lot of darkness.
How was working together? Because I've never met a combination like this. It's amazing to be in the studio with you two.
Well, he didn't talk to me for about 2 months after we finished the film.
No,
he
I was
couldn't
like
even
living
look at
with
me.
her
He
character
couldn't even look at me.
No, because I was editing. Yeah, you know, you're a little, you know, to give it the context of, I was editing her character 10, 12, 14 hours a day, every day. I was like living with this other person. When I saw her, I was like, I'm literally going to have a psychotic episode because you're my mom, but on screen, I guess you're on my mom as well, but you're also this other character, and I have to be harsh and critical with this character about who she is and, you know, lines of dialogue and scenes that aren't working. So, yeah, we didn't talk for a couple months after, but shooting the film was really fun. I mean, we had it was intense.
A blast. It was amazing. I mean, like the creativity between us was incredible.
I mean, you can feel it.
Oh, it was fabulous. And, you know, Orson made a new type of movie, you know, he calls it Neon Noir.
Neon Noir.
Yeah, Neon Noir.
No.
Isn't that what I said?
I don't know.
Mom's always right.
My mom's always right. You're
Yep.
right.
It's my accent.
Whatever you say.
It's my accent.
But that's what it was like. This banter was exactly what it was like on set. But the crew was so cool. They were all super like behind it, and everyone was. I think there was like, you know, the 30 people we were making this film with. We all kind of got addicted to making the movie because it was just, I don't know, it was a great vibe making this.
It kind of felt like a cult feel, not in the sense that it was one of those bad cult feels, but it was very interesting, and you could tell everyone through the production and the actors and on screen had the same intent when you could just see it. So that's awesome. How did you pull together the cast and crew? Was it through the production company you were working with?
Oh, it was our production company that did the film. It was all us, like all my crew and my friends, like a lot of them we had worked together with and just hitting people up. It was just, it's kind of a beautiful organic thing making a film because, you know, a lot of the times the right people just fall into place, and these were all the right people. The cast were friends, some of them, you know, family, and then some people we just got really lucky who said yes. We reached out to
Like Michael Parks.
Like Michael Parks and
Wow.
Roger Guinevere Smith and these people that are
Wow.
just like phenomenal actors that gave us their time.
Well, and I could tell you guys are such creatives, and being around creatives is always a blessing in some way. What do you guys do off set when you're not acting, when you're not directing and writing? Are you guys living near each other?
Looking for work.
Aren't we all?
Look, yeah.
The industry.
Yeah, trying to pay my rent.
Yeah.
We do. I mean, we hang out. We live pretty
hang
close to
out.
each other.
I love
So,
you guys.
Yeah, so we
We
hang.
have lunch, coffee.
Yeah.
Can I come one time?
Yeah, absolutely.
We'll take your number. He's got a new script, a new movie.
You got to come to the Oaks.
Oh, is that what
The Oaks in Beechwood that's the spot.
Is this the mom son spot?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm
pretty
gonna
much.
be there, you guys.
Yeah.
I'm serious.
Honestly, it's the everyone who doesn't have a job in LA spot.
I didn't know this. Can I wear the cheetah coat ever?
Yeah, we got two
You
of them.
can wear the
Yes!
cheetah coat. One is bloody and one is. But you know what's really interesting, because somebody reviewed us and they said that I looked
Like a Skid Row Liberace.
Liberace.
That was the best thing. This person hated this film, and they were like Skid Row Liberace, and I was like, "That's
in a
awesome."
leopard skin coat.
I was like, "That's a."
As soon as I saw you, I thought Devil Wears Prada, Meryl Streep,
Yeah, well,
like,
thank you.
yeah, like swanky as heck.
Yeah. So yeah.
Well, thank you.
Oh man. Well, where can I want everyone to see this movie. Where can we find this movie?
You can find it on iTunes, Amazon Prime, Google Play, YouTube. You know, we just did a theatrical run in LA, so it's out there for everyone to see and rent and check it out. You know,
Awesome.
play it loud.
Spread the word.
It's a full experience. You have to have it loud. You have to have lights off, no distractions.
Yeah.
That's how I felt.
Throw your phone away. There's no phones in this film, actually. No
These
cell
are the
phones.
directions you must follow.
I don't believe in cell phones in movies.
Oh, in movies?
Yeah, they just cell phones destroyed films. Every time you got to make an excuse for like why someone doesn't have a cell phone.
Oh.
I just take them out.
Yeah. That's actually a great point. It does, because it's just a distraction, a plot distraction.
Yeah.
Interesting. Well, where can we find you guys so that people can keep in touch and see what you're working on? Other than the Oaks, because I'll be there with you.
No, you could find us. Our Instagram is the Queen of the Boulevard. Our Twitter is the Queen of Hollywood Boulevard. I'm at Orson Manchild and Arsanowitz on Instagram and Twitter, and
I'm on Facebook.
no, she has an Instagram. It's
do have
at
an
Pretty
Instagram.
Sly.
At Pretty Sly.
I love the Orson man-child. Rosemary said that he's always been a man-child. I love that. Well, thank you guys so much for coming in. You guys can find me on Instagram and Twitter at Steps Abroad. Make sure that you go find the movie, The Queen of Hollywood Boulevard. We'll see you guys next time.
Thank you.
Our founder, Keven Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and me, Maria Menounos, would like to thank you for tuning in to AfterBuzz TV. Remember, we're not just the first, we're the biggest in the world, and we're the only destination for all your favorite TV shows. Whatever you crave, we've got it. So go to AfterBuzzTV.com and check out our lineup. Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.